Okay, Summers and Daring versus Gearing and Shimikaze on the destroyer front. Smolensk for SBS, Stalingrad for Hydro. They're fielding a Hindenburg, which is interesting by way of a tank-style bulldozer. So that's going to be curious. Thunderer and Kremlin versus Ohio and Yamato. I would say the Thunder and the Kremlin of SBS are going to be more suited to this map. They've also got a considerably heavier cruiser setup. Excuse me a second. Yoink, get rid of that. Come on. Thank you. Right, so let's see what the deployments do. Remember, I'm not expecting anybody to try for point B. It's a death trap in the early game. That said, Fireblade, Jake and Animal Fruit Loop both getting some steering way up to start with. Are they actually going to? No, there's a starboard turn from Fireblade, so it looks like he's pushing out towards point A. And Fruit Loop, yep, there's his turn as well. So looks like SBS are going to refuse point B to start with. Curiously, old Bones here is, well, he's not. Dr. McCoy going straight for point B in the Daring. Now, he's got smoke in the sense of the British destroyer's ninja bomb, but this is a bold move from Bones here, who might soon have nothing left but. And it won't even need a bad divorce either. There's a turn. I don't know if that's because he was looking for some early reconnaissance and got it. He's actually inside radar range for the Moskva. Horody probably won't blow his radar unless he sees point B go into active cap. And yep, old Leonard's turning away. He's not trimming cap. He's got some early reconnaissance. Probably realized just how stupid it would be to actually go into B, and has contented himself with providing a ton of spotting for JB's Yamato. There go the railguns. It looks like Horody is going to be on the receiving end of this first salvo and gets away. Well, I say he got away reasonably well, but he's still down 20,000, considering he had a Stalingrad, a Hindenburg, a Yamato shooting at him, and the Venezia on top. Honestly, 25,000 damage in the fire is probably about as good as he can hope for. Wow, Fruit Loop did a 180. He's now in point B and trying for the early cap. I do not think anyone is in a position to radar him. Wargaming Plusnerv Hipper, yeah, there's the radar sweep. That's going to pick up Fruit Loop just. There's only a couple of 100 meters in it. Remember, Des Moines radar gives up at 10k. Now, is anyone in a position to capitalize? Yep, there's the semi-AP from the Venezia. All 15 rounds of it, coupled with AP from the Stalingrad and HE from the Hindenburg, and even some long distance fire there. Fruit Loop got lucky there, considering how many people he had shooting at him. I think everyone was, I'm not sure they were expecting to actually see anything there, to be honest. They were a little slow locking their guns on, just that couple of seconds delay. So, Plusnerv Hipper in a blocking position, but we know his radar is dry. The Summers of Mohadib is making the traditional cap. Interestingly, despite them having a good idea of the reconnaissance position, Mohadib is staying backed up. He's in the traditional King of the Sea capping position, stern to the enemy, bound to safety, ready to leg it at high speed. And Rail Thunder bags the first kill, taking out the Moskva of Horodir. Although, to be honest, given the sheer amount of fire that Horodir was taking at point B, I honestly think it was more a question of who was going to get the shot more than anything else. Point A falls to SBS. Now, they have got a clear run round this flank, while Hydro have got a clear run, well, relatively clear run to the north. They do have a slight fly in the ointment with that plan, however, because Sparky 01 is sat bow on to point C, and if they try to push through, they are going to have a interesting time getting past the brick wall that is a dug-in Kremlin. Meanwhile, the Legend 17 is trying it. Credit to the man, he's pushing past, he's going to hit no opposition there, but because he's out on the 910 line, right the way out on the east, his problem is that, well, it's going to take him a while to get to a position where he can supply any kind of territory control. At the moment, all he can do is rain high explosive over onto Sparky's Kremlin. And while Sparky is taking a fairly significant battering at the moment, he'll probably survive that. He's only down about 13,000 right now. Meanwhile, SBS continue to push south of A. They've had to stall their momentum slightly. Fireblade Jake dropping some smoke to cover on the XXL's Des Moines as he goes into play. And of course, they have got bearing on the Ohio, but Zane firing back on the Tracers goes long with the 18-inch guns. How well he'll be able to correct for that, I do not know. Salvo out again. Of course, when you've got high X whizzing past yours, it does tend to disrupt your aim a little. Zane takes another hit, no fire this time, but we'll see, we'll see. Of course, if he once gets a good solution on Tommy, those 18-inch super heavy AP rounds are going to do some very, very nasty things to Tommy's bow. So, there we go. Amel Fruit Loop finally pushes his luck a bit too far in point B and goes down. And I suspect that was Plusnerf Hipper's radar contributing. Oh dear, and that radar might be about to claim another victim. Smolensk got caught in that as well. And remember, Smolensk only has 3 inches of armor. He hoovers up some smoke from himself, having taken advantage of Fruit Loops, but Plusnerf Hipper's got an absolutely perfect firing solution on him, raining debris down. Blimick really needs to stop his gunfire. He's giving away his position. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Radar sweep going up from Jimmy 87's Stalingrad. Gets position locked, but there's not a great deal to shoot at. That is not going to do SBS any favors. They've just had a serious crack forced into their center line. Delesion 17 abandoned his charge down the 9-10 line, came through the channel into point C and is now trying to push in the flank, but he's running right into both a Thunderer and a Stalingrad. But he's got the Stalingrad on the flank, so that might force Jimmy 87 to push forward into cover, takes his guns out of the equation. He's still dueling a Thunderer, which isn't exactly something I'd recommend for survival, but hey, it's half the number of guns pointing at him, if not the throwaway. Oh, wow. Speaking of duels, Kremlin on Yamato, ladies and gentlemen, bow to bow. Now, how fast is Sparky going to switch to high explosive here? Because he can't overmatch the Yamato, but the Yamato's 18.1-inch guns can overmatch him. And, well, everyone presumably knows that. So JB just content to stay bow on, doesn't need to advance any further, just keeps pouring the fire in straight through Sparky's bow. Let's see, Sparky. Has he loaded the high X? Oops, support fire coming in from Hydra as well. Even the secondaries are getting involved. Come on, where's that main battery? He's actually lining up on Bernker rather than JB. So let's see what his main battery decides to do. Salvo out, armor piercing towards the Stalingrad, looking for the overmatch. And, I think we may be seeing a distinct flavour of witness here. Sparky has stood on the accelerator. He's only got 30,000 health left. He's presumably decided that he is not going to win this fight, so he's got his guns on Bernco and he's going to try for the ram. The thing is, in order to do that, he's going to have to go past the auto bounce angles with respect to Bernker. 10,000 health. Of course, Yamato does not care about bounce angles at all. JB's seen what's happening. He's backing it up, trying frantically to reload those 18-inch guns. Sparky's closing. There's 500 meters in it. 400, 6,000 health. Come on. 300 meters, 200, 100. Turn, 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 and kiss. And the Yamato does not go down. JB was backing up. That reduced the collision velocity to the point where the Kremlin, despite the superior health, did not have the damage on the ram to sink JB. Oh, wow. Yeah, ramming mechanics might normally be do your maximum health in damage, but not always. And almost simultaneously, Centurion Macros Hindenburg puts down Jimmy 87's Stalingrad. Fireblade's got torpedoes in the water. Rail Thunder stands on the rudder. Is he going to torpedo beat? He's overcooked a little, I think. Takes one, but it's a Shimakaze. One is one too many when you've got 610mm torpedoes coming at you. Fireblade dumps another salvo. Rail Thunder's gone into his engine smoke, pushing forwards. Remember that the Venezia has no hydro set, despite the clan name. Okay, has he seen those torpedoes? He's not seen the... Oh! He did not see the torpedoes until it was that little bit too late, and now there is no more Venezia. However, that does leave Dr. McCoy still remarkably intact with a clear run into point A. Of course, the moment he does get into point A, Fireblade and Edinburgh are going to turn right round and start throwing shells. SBS are in a very rough position here. They're down to Fireblade, they're down to Edinburgh, and Edinburgh is getting focused hard. He's got Des Moines and a Salem. That's 12 auto-loading AP guns firing at him. Even Hindenburg's tankiness is not going to hold against this for long. And that's before we add in the Des Moines and the Stalingrad that were firing at him as well. Still, at least he lasted long enough for me to finish my sentence, which just leaves poor old Fireblade in the middle of what can politely be described as a ring of, oh God, this is going to hurt. There's the radar from Bernker. Should I censor this on the grounds of cruelty to small boats? Oh dear. So, slow start as expected on North, but once Hydro got going, they really got going.